Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning to all. So let us discuss in this class on the mathematical basics in this course. So hope you people have seen the video lectures, or you might have seen the notes as well, especially those who have not attended earlier classes of MLIP. So it appears that all students are from the third year and MTech. So are there any other students who didn't take the previous MLIP course? Yeah, Sri Hari.
Yeah, I didn't. This is the first class. Like,
Right.
this is the
Very good.
first.
Okay. So any students?
Sir, me too.
Rohit?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Rohit, you are from which branch? And
And then we use RCN,
Azit?
like sequence of how the characters appear. That's a better method.
Yeah, can you repeat? I'm not able to hear. Rohit and Azit.
Sir, I'm just attending classes. Like, this is the first time I am from electrical branch, third year.
Okay. Still not able to hear properly?
Sir, am I audible now?
Yes, yes. Now you're audible.
I'm just attending as a part of the project, right?
Oh, fine, fine. Okay. It's third year. Okay, fine, good. Oh, so the Azit? Who is Azit?
Yes. Sorry for the disturbance, sir. Actually, like I was speaking to my roommate regarding the project, and the mic became on accidentally.
Okay, okay, you're auditing.
Yes.
Fine. So, though any other students who are crediting and not were not there in MLIP? Prasad, Bandi Prasad?
Yes, sir. I was there in the MLIP, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay. So then fine. I think most of you will have. So we will quickly have a review then. So in this class, let us have the review of all mathematics basics. I am sharing the screen here. I am sharing the screen from iPad. Okay, good. So now you are able to see the screen, I hope, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So let us now start the discussion on what mathematical basics that we have studied in MLIP and which are common and most important here that we discuss in little more detail. But other things we just summarize. See, why do we need mathematics at all in this course? Quickly, can you tell? See, I expect some quick answers so that we can move on. So in what places or what context do we use some of the existing even simpler or some kind of mathematics here? See, there may be some very primitive mathematics that we don't discuss, but there are few aspects that requires a little bit of understanding or bringing the mathematical things again and again. So, yeah.
Similarity between two objects
Right.
to find the.
So one, you say, for example, if you have any say if you have an image and a template, this is template and this is an image. Okay. So what we need to see is where is this template in this image if we want to search. Fine. So what I need actually template matching. For this, I may have a feature vector here. X may be a feature vector for template. Okay. So, and then I may have a feature vector at any given point in set space. Right. And both may be same dimensions because I may take the same size here for searching. Okay. So d rows and 1 column. So it's d cross 1 vectors. Now between these two, if I want to say that the template is matching, what should I do? What should we do?
Dot product.
Yeah, one way is finding similarity that can be done through either dot product or any other ways for finding similarity. Or how close these two are. If I want to assess, what is the other way of finding?
Correlation, sir.
Yeah, so similarity is found through correlation. Okay. And then any other way in which like through which I can tell that how close these two are, XS and XT. These two, how close they are, we want to know. Yeah, what else will you do if I, other than correlation, to say how close these two are?
Euclidean distance.
Find this similarity. Okay. Okay. So now since you people have seen or you are aware of similarity and dissimilarity measures or correlation and distance measures. So give me a specific correlation measure, cross correlation, normalized cross correlation we want to write. Okay, I'm writing here in short form. So how do I define normalized cross correlation between two vectors XT and SS? You should tell even faster than what I write.
Mod XT and mod XT.
Yeah, norm XT and
Norm
norm X. Okay. So mod is different and norm is different. Right? For vectors, we call it as norm. Okay, this is normalized cross correlation. This ranges between what and what? So higher the normalized cross correlation, better the similarities. And what is the range of this?
0 to 1, sir.
Yeah, if we assume that these two are positive,
Positive picture.
so then
If
it
is
is
negative,
0 to 1.
Yes.
Hmm?
Again from -1 to 1 also. Sir.
Yeah. So, right. So this is 1 means NCC equal to 1 means highest correlated. Similar. Or most similar. Fine. So now what distance measures do you know? Tell me.
L2,
Distance measure. Yeah.
L2 norm and L1 norm.
Okay. Or L2 norm. So how do yeah, XT minus XS. I'm writing just like this, but you people know, I think I'm not expanding it. So L2 norm of a vector, okay, X is simply root of X1 square plus X2 square plus and so on XD square, right? Hope this is very clear to you. So, and then the other one is L1 norm. How do you define that? This you usually write as mod. Okay, or say mod of XT minus XS. How do you define this mod or L1 norm as? How do you define it? Which answer is
It's absolute difference, sir.
absolute difference here, right? X2 and so on, XT. Do you know any other distance measures?
L infinity is also there. Infinity.
What is the, yeah, L infinity norm, fine, that's okay, that we can bring in. But any other distance measures, LP norm, L infinity norm, so you can build upon this. L infinite norm does what? You know what L infinite norm does? Find
Takes the maximum.
of all these differences in each component, find the maximum and put it. That is L infinite norm. Okay, so LP norm is written in similar fashion. Fine. So now tell me what other distance measures you know. I need some quick answer for some other student. Yeah, Pratyusha, you want to tell? What is the other distance measure you people know? No other distance measure you know? I need some good and quick answer now. It's surprising.
Sir, LP norm.
LP norm we already discussed, right? LP norm anyway, I have not explicitly put it, but LP norm is given here. And L infinite norm also we have written. L infinite norm gives maximum. Okay, so if say x infinity gives actually maximum of x1 to xd. Okay, LP norm is written in similar fashion, so I have not written explicitly. See, I'm while writing here, I'm doing only one vector x. Okay.
Matrix norms.
Yeah, that's okay. That is later. See this, while writing here, I'm writing only one vector. Okay, here xt minus xs, I am putting in the norm. So when I hope you know very how to use norm on this. So each element will be the difference here. Okay, in place of the direct vector elements. I hope that much adaptation you are very clear. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Okay. So any other distance measures? Okay. So let us bring in this. I will just keep it in suspense then. So if you people don't convey now. Okay. So let us now move on. See, I want what else we need. So similarity, dissimilarity is first thing that we need in mathematics that we use. Okay. So can you tell what other things you need? Okay. So let me give some other ways of finding similarity and dissimilarity. So far we have found using actually the feature values. See, sometimes what may happen is you may have take the same problem. You have a template here and you have an image here. Okay. Or even to simplify the thing. So let us have a image 1. Let us have an image 1 and let us have an image 2. Okay. So now what I want to say is between image 1 and image 2, I want to say how close these two images are. I may also have image 3. Okay. I also may have actually test image, IT, I say. Okay. I want to tell how close this IT to I1, I2, I3. That may be a problem, right? Of interest to us. Okay. Closeness between IT and I1, I2, I3. Okay, this is what is our question. Now tell me. So this may be typically say face recognition, for example, if I want to recognize the same face. Okay. So, or if I want to say this is the same object. So in many applications, we need this kind of matching or in this kind of inference or comparison. So now tell me, other than using features, one way directly is you get the features XT. Okay, previously they were template, here is this test. Okay, please adapt to that. Okay, and then you may have features of I sample XI. Okay. So, and then you find out all similarity measures, dissimilarity measures, and then tell whether it's similar or dissimilar. Is there any other way that we usually do in classification approaches? I need some quick answer again. So other than features, assume that some method is also in place. So a classifier is there, or some, okay, some algorithm which is trained or developed, which will give a comparison score in terms of, say, for example, it may give actually, say, for example, digit classification, let us consider. Okay, so I have here 5, digit 5. Okay, so this is a digit classification. This is a neural network. Just too easy to understand for us. See, input is 5. 5 means the feature I will give. The feature is, say, for example, this 5 may be 20 cross 20. So how much dimension will be the feature vector? If I directly feed in the image feature, if it is 20 cross 20, how much will be the dimension of this?
400 cross 1.
Yeah, 400 cross 1. And then what is the, how many number of output neurons do you expect? So in number of input neurons in this neural network will be how much?
400.
400. Okay, so you have actually 400. Fine. And then this is the first layer, input layer. And then you may have actually 400. After 400, how many, say, assume that I brought to 15 neurons. And then output layer, how many neurons will be there in output layer? For digit classification. Yeah, quick answer is expected. For digit classification, how many output neurons should I have?
10.
Yes. Okay, 10 neurons you need. Okay, so now 10 neurons in output layer. So here output will be 10-dimensional vector. Right? And if it is 5, what is expected in the output layer, at the output layer? After training, what is expected? So this is desired output, I would say. Okay?
0, 0, 0, 5, 1.
0, 0, fine. Let me write actually little clearly this one. So this will also come to that size. Okay, then let us write cryptically only. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 1, and then 0, 0. Okay, so 1 at the 6th position. Right, if I start from 0, 1 at 6th position. Correct? Now the question is, see, do you think the neural network exactly gives this?
No, it will give in probability.
It will give only
In probability value.
in probability, right? So it may give actually the essentially what neural network may give is typically of this sort. Okay, so let me write with some other color here. What it predicts is, so 0.1, 0.05, something like that. And then at the 0.65, okay, 0.02 and so on at the 5th position. 6th position here. Right? So what is happening now? Neural network is giving a probabilistic vector. So in some sense, what is this neural network is trying to predict? What is this neural network is trying to give as output? Can I get a
Similarity of 5 with all the digits.
Okay, that's fine. It essentially does it and gives in terms of what it is giving finally. Probability density function, okay, of 5 belonging to the output classes. So in some sense, what it is giving is P of omega I given X. Do you agree or not? Okay, omega I here is 5th class, so this 5th sample, right? So it's giving actually the probability of belonging to, say, I equal to 5. Okay, the input sample X equal to 5, for example. Okay, given the input sample, it is giving the probability of omega I given 5. See, omega 1 given 5 is how much? It is smaller. Right? So P of omega 1 given 5, x equal to 5 is smaller, close to 0. That's why 0.1. P of omega 1 given 6, sorry, given 5, omega 6 given 5 is higher. Why is that higher? Why is that higher?
It is close to that point.
Yeah, because
It is matching.
omega 6 means what? Okay, the input x equal to 5. Omega 6 implies x equal to 5. Correct? That's why it should be higher. So what is this giving? Probability of omega I given x. Fine. That's what is it's giving. So in some sense, it is giving some kind of PDF, probability density function of that particular, okay, class density. Fine. So each class, how much probable this x belongs to. It's in may not be PDF, but it's a conditional density or it's a posterior density. Okay, more appropriately. Okay, of x belonging to omega I class. What is omega I class? Omega equal to 1 for omega equal to 1 for first class. Omega r 0 sample. Omega, say omega 1 is for x belongs to 0 class. X equal to 1 means omega 1 class and so on. Okay. So we are essentially getting this, and this is the desired probability. Yes. So now what I need to do, I want to see how close these two are. You are finding previously mean square error between what the outputs you get and what the desired output, and then back propagating. That's okay. But more appropriately, what should I do here? This is probability, desired probability of omega I given x. Okay, and this is our network probability, and this is the desired probability. So now what should I do? I need quick answer now. To compare these two and say how close these two are, what should I do?
Difference.
Similarity or distance on what? Distance on PDFs. Okay, or okay, probabilities in some sense. I need, right? Yes or no? I need to have a measure of telling how close to probability distribution functions are. Is it correct or not? So do you know any such measure? How close to probability density functions are?
Least square.
Least square is fine. Least square essentially is what we were doing before. Correct? This is what we were doing here is least square. Yes or no? Yes, this is minimum mean square error is nothing but least square. But here we are trying to, we define it as probability. We know that actually it's always, okay, they sum to 1. So we know that they're all probabilities. So probability density function or probability mass function here. Okay, because this is discrete here. Okay, PMF is essentially. Okay, similarity at distance on PMF we need to define. What is, see, before I get into this, so you know about PDF and PMF. Let's come back here. So you know what is PMF and PDF? Let's discuss very briefly on that. Quick answers are required.
Probability mass function.
What is this? What does this give? What does this give?
Probability at x is equal to vi at different image.
Yeah. So assume that if we are throwing a die, okay, so die can take the outcome can be Vi can be equal to 1, 2, up to 6. Fine. Any of these can be the outcomes. Then probability that X belongs to one of the Vi is defined as Pi, can be defined as Pi. Right? This is what is this? So if I get the output as 2, with how much probability, if I make large number of experiments, out of those many experiments, how many times do I get the output as 2? Okay, in in comparison to any other possible outputs, including 2. Fine, that's what we get as probability. So this, I think, right? So this is if we know this information for each and every expected output, then what we have, essentially what we are saying is, the probability of each of the outcome. Okay, you can tell how certain you are in getting a particular output, or how uncertain you are in getting a particular output. Is that fine? So this is how the probability is defined for an event. Okay, so here it is throwing a die and outcomes. These are the outcomes. And then probability. And this X is called what? Outcome X here is called what?
Random variable.
Yeah, X is called random variable. What kind of random variable is that? What kind of random variable? Yeah, it is discrete random variable, right? Okay, so fine. So now you get this Pi. So now with this information, Pi for all I equal to 1 to 6. Okay, so here I equal to 1 to 6. Okay, so what information do we get? From this, what information can we infer about the event? The possible outputs are 1 to 6. Okay, and then if each are equally likely, then what is Pi equal to here? Pi
1 by 6.
1 by 6. In that case, what happens?
Equally distributed.
Yeah,
Uniform
so they are all,
distribution.
yeah. So they are all uniformly distributed. These are all VIs and these are all PIs. Okay, so given this VI and PI, the possible outcomes and the probability, associated probabilities, what we can infer? We can infer about, so this itself is called probability mass function. Right? This is the probability mass function. If I know Pi for all I, okay, all output events, that itself is the probability mass function. Fine. Now, what this describes the whole probabilities of each of the events. With this, what can we compute? How is this useful?
Mean and variance can be computed.
You can tell actually what is the mean value of the outcome, what is the variance spread of the outcomes. Okay, some such aspects. You can know the statistics of the event. Okay, so that's what you can find. So mean usually written as expectation. You people know, I think, right? Expectation of X here. How do I define this?
Sum of X into Px.
Vi into,
Probability.
yeah, probability directly, right? Pi. Okay, so probability of X equal to Vi also you can write in expanded form. You may write this as probability of X equal to Vi. Summation over I equal to 1 to 6. Is 6 events. Okay, Vi is the value the event is taking. Here, incidentally, the value and index I are same, but not necessarily. Okay, in some cases, Vi can be in head and tail. For example, when we are just tossing a coin, Vi can take what? Vi can be head or tail. Okay, whereas I equal to 1 to 2, right? So hope you know this distinction. Fine. So now what the mean value will be? If I just substitute, what do you think I will get the mean value will be? Can anyone quickly tell for this example?
1, sir.
Huh? How much do you think I will get?
1, sir.
No. What is expectation of X I get here?
Okay.
Any other answer? Yeah, quick answer.
3.5.
3.5. Okay. So now let us also compute variance. Mean gives what essentially? Mean, by meaning it gives the mean value of the events. See, around which the events may occur. Okay, that's what is given by mean. In terms of understanding, this is the mean value, right? A mean value can also be sometimes M you can consider, but expectation of X is a more appropriate. And variance, how do you define variance of this event or of this random variable X? Quick answer is required. So, yeah, here let us mu X. Right, how do I define variance?
X minus mean square into probability, sir.
Yeah. So expectation of X minus mu whole square. This is how we can define. Right? Expectation of X minus mu or X minus expectation of X here. Okay, if we write full form whole square. Right? So around the expectation or the mean value, what is the variation of the outcomes? That is being given by variance. Correct? So this also you can compute. How do you compute this? Can one of you tell quickly?
X minus mu whole square into probability of X.
So it's expect I equal to 1 to 6 Vi. See, any of the function of expectation can be computed as Vi into X minus, the function, the value in the function, that is X minus,
Mean
X means,
expectation.
yeah, X means here Vi itself, because I is varying, X minus mu X whole square into Pi. Correct? Because X is a random variable, it can take all the possible values Vi, V equal to 1 to 6. So we have written Vi here in place of X. Okay, and mu X is anyway mu X whole square into Pi, because we need to multiply into probability of X taking that value of Vi. Okay, so this is this. So you can compute anyway this as well. Right? So this is how the mean and variance are defined of a random variable. Right? So now given all this, so we are introduced of PMF now, okay, in more elegant way. And also you know about PDF, I hope. What is difference between PDF and PMF?
One is for continuous variable, another is for discrete.
Right, that's all. So one is for the continuous random variable and other is for the discrete random variable. Right. So now, okay, so now the question is, given this PDF or PMF, okay, as the are the components for comparison, okay, so how do I write the similarity measure or dissimilarity measure? That is the question. Who will answer me? Any people who are taking a little bit of communication courses, information theory and coding? Yes or no? How do I compare PMFs? That's the question. You heard of this cross entropy? Or did you hear of entropy? You should tell some answer. Yeah, Sandeep, you are there? Sandeep or Pradeep or any other students? His class is around or not?
Yes, sir. We are here.
Yeah, so entropy, none of you have heard? Entropy of a random variable? You can tell no also. I won't come and beat you now. So, it's not even school, right? This is college, university. So you hear about, did you hear about entropy or not?
Yes, sir, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. Okay, good. So that's a very good answer. So at least I expect that answer. Right. So what entropy gives is, it gives either randomness of a distribution. Okay, let it be probability mass function or probability density function. See, if I am throwing a random variable, okay, so I just pick a random variable. I say that every time I'm picking only one. Okay, so I can pick say 1 to 6, but I'm picking only one every time. So is there any uncertainty there? Huh? Is there any uncertainty there? Every time it comes only as one.
No uncertain.
No uncertainty. Okay, so I know that one only results, and the PMF now in that case, so probability mass function also, because based on the experiments I might have conducted, I might say that the probability, this is one possible probability mass function which we have seen as uniform. Okay, assume that there is another probability mass function which is equal to 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, for all other 6. So now what I want to see is between the probability mass functions I have, one is uniformly distributed probability mass function, other is 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, all other zeros. That kind of mass function, probability mass function. Among these two, now what I want to do is, I want to tell which is more certain or which is more uncertain. Which event results in an outcome which is more certain, and which event results in an outcome which is more uncertain. Can one of you answer? This event 1, let it be. First one is event 1 and second one is event 2. Quick answer is required.
Uniformly distributed event leads to uncertainty.
Right. So this leads to,
Depends upon the variance.
yeah, this is not this certain. Okay, or no randomness. In what? No randomness in outcomes of the event anyway. Okay, so here uniform distributed random variable. See, I may throw a die, 3 may come, 4 may come, 1 may come, and 6 may come, and so on. Okay, so this is, the outcome is not very certain. Okay, so now if we see event, if I see the events E1 versus E2, okay, so one has, this is certain, output is certain, output is uncertain. Outcome. Okay, fine. Now the question is, which has more information? So does E1 has more information or E2 has more information?
E2.
Which has more information? E2, there is no information to look for. It's already
E-
clear. Okay. So even we don't know, every time there is a new information that's coming up. Okay. Sometimes 6 will come, sometime 1 will come. Fine. So the entropy is a measure of information or measure of uncertainty. Okay. Of a random variable. Fine.
Sir. Yes, sir.
How do I define this? Entropy is I think they use epsilon or something of random variable x. We will just write like this. Pi into ln of pi. This is how defined. Minus pi into ln of pi. This is how they define the entropy. Okay, is this clear? See, now you put into this expression for E1 and E2 and give me the entropy values of event 1 and event 2. Can you quickly compute and get back to me on the values of entropies for event 1 and event 2? Yeah, I need some quick answers now. For E1, how much is the entropy? For E2, what is the entropy? E2 means we don't get for E2, we random variable in E2. Entropy of X in E2. Okay, so strictly writing. Yeah, how much is the value you got? So first one, for example, second one first compute, because it's the easier one. So minus of 1 into ln of 1. How much is that?
0.
0. And remaining all 0 into, because the event itself, sorry, pi into, yeah, probability itself is 0, right? So pi into ln of pi. So they're all zeros. 0 into ln of 0 is 0, right? You know that. I hope. So this is all 0. Do you agree with me or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Second one, entropy is 0. There is no information at all, or there is no uncertainty at all. Okay. So as we defined it as measure of uncertainty. Okay. More uncertainty, the value is higher. Okay. Lesser uncertainty, value is lower. Fine. Now entropy in E1, how do I define it? What is the value of it? I hope some of you might have already calculated. Pi is 1 by 6. ln of pi is how much? ln of 1 by 6. So how much you will get? So ln of 1 by 6 equal to minus ln of this.
1.79.
Okay, let us write in this way. ln of 6. Am I correct? The answer is ln of 6. Ln is a natural answer. I hope you know that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So ln of 6 is the answer here, and ln this is 0. So this is the highest, like if you compute any other PMF, if you take any other PMF, okay, having 6 events, you can see that, you can also take Gaussian just to add the things. I will not explicitly do it. Okay, but I will suggest you to do it. Okay, you can take some kind of triangular, easy for us to sketch, okay, or even compute. So 0 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is again pi. Okay, so assume that it can take 1, 2, 1 plus 2 plus 3. That's how much? 3 plus 3. That is 6. So let us divide this. So 1 by 6. Just check am I writing correctly or not? So it should be how much? So you just normalize and compute into probabilities. So is 1 by 12, am I correct? 2 by 12, 3 by 12, 3 by 12, 2 by 12, and 1 by 12. Is this correct? No, will they sum up to 1 or not? Correct means what? No, it should be to 1, no, PMF.
Semi-1.
Oh, it's correct, right? This is 6 and this is 6, correct?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, correct. So this is another event. So assume that in another event, the probability distribution is like this. Okay? Or PMF is like this. Fine. So in this case also you compute actually entropy. Not now, but if you want to compute quickly, you can compute entropy of X in this event. Okay. So then you see that this will be intermediate or in between 0 and ln of 6. And because here it is more by looking at the uniform distribution and this distribution, which is more certain, which events are more certain, like compared to this and this. Can you comment anything on the certainty of the outcomes?
In E3, it's more likely for 3 and 4 to come.
Right,
E3
right.
is, E3 is more certain.
Correct, correct. No, so that's why its entropy will be in between these two. Okay, you agree or not?
Yes.
Yeah. So this one I have not plotted, but if you wish to plot, you can plot. Okay, so I just I hope you can easily understand it. Okay, so I leave it now. Yeah. 1 and 6 and this is 1. Okay. So that's fine. So now what we see now is this entropy is a measure of uncertainty or randomness in the outcomes. Okay. And in fact, this is the key for all information theory. That means if I want to send some message, how many number of bits should I use? Okay, it depends upon the information content in the message. If the message has higher information content, I need more number of bits. Okay, if the message has a lesser number of information, lesser number of bits are good enough. So every time if I say yes, 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 so whatever you say, and then I think it's very less information. Sometime yes, sometime no. Okay, randomly if it is going, or even descriptive answers, so then more information, right? Hope you got the point. Okay, good. So now this is one of the very key expression. So essentially the entropy is defined as of a random variable is defined as minus pi ln of pi. If it is continuous random variable, then how do you think it may be defined?
Integration.
Yeah,
For continuous, it is integral.
that's all. Okay, for continuous random variable, it is integral. Okay, I leave it here. So P of what we do know, P of X, right? Okay, because X is the range in which the outcome can be. And P is the probability of that outcome. Okay, fine. And minus. Okay, so now what I'm telling here is a cross entropy. So what do you think difference between this entropy and cross entropy? Let me define now cross entropy. But you should be able to tell now.
Between the two events.
That's all.
Cross.
So now assume that E1 is there. How much information is common? Okay. So, and how much information is different? okay, is given by cross entropy. So how do I define it? Say assume that E1, E2. So let Pi be the probabilities I define in event 1 and Qi be the probabilities I define in event 2, because there are two events now I want to distinguish. Okay, so then the cross entropy between E1 comma E2 is given as, can you tell how do I define?
QI.
Right, I can define like this, or see, because this is cross entropy can be defined from E1 to E2, how similar Pi to Qi or Qi to Pi. Okay, I can define in that way as well. So between E2 and E1 as Qi. Okay. Fine. So now let us see for these two events, E1 and E2. How much, so what is the cross entropy? Can you quickly calculate? One of you, can you quickly calculate cross entropy for E1 and E2? Let us write cross entropy CE. Okay. Between E1 and E2. How much is that? Quick answer. Minus. What is the answer? PA is 1, right? So you can write 1 by 6 ln of 1 plus all zeros, ln of 0. 1 by 6 ln of 0. So that's one way. So let us write E2 and E1, which is simpler for us here to write. What is cross entropy between E2 and E1?
ln of 6.
1 into ln of 1 by 6 plus all zeros. Okay, so I just leave this one here. Yeah, it's a ln of 6. Okay, so this is the cross entropy. Find what cross entropy gives is how much similar they are. See, if I consider cross entropy between PA and PA, okay, how much I got? It was also ln of 6 previously. Okay, but if we consider between right. So if we consider between this E2 and E2 cross entropy, or it's a entropy. Okay, we have seen that it is 0. No, but the cross entropy essentially gives how much similar content between this and this is there. Okay, so now if you see, just for experiment, what I would suggest is find out the cross entropy between the E3 and E2 and E3 and E1. Okay, just see how much similarity they have. Highest cross entropy can be found when you find the entropy with itself. When P and Q are similar, the value will be the highest that you can get. Okay, if P and Q are not similar, the value will be lesser than what you can get for P and Q being similar. Okay, that I suggest you to verify with these E1, E2 and E3. Okay, for today you will verify this. Okay, in the next class we will define, like we will make little more inference on the cross entropy, and then in similar lines to Euclidean distance, we also define here a distance measure. Okay, on the probabilities on PMF, that is referred to as KL divergence. Okay, so this scale divergence is a measure which gives the distance between two PMFs or PDFs. Fine. So when we have the probabilities, we usually use either KL divergence or cross entropy as a dissimilarity or similarity measures. Okay, so we will see that little more in the next class. So if you have any questions, quick questions you can ask. Otherwise, we will meet again in the next class. Any questions?
Sir, so are we having any test on Friday, sir?
Right. So I would suggest that the test can be there. That's anyway on the maths that I have discussed earlier. So I will not be discussing these entropy and divergence won't come into the picture. But the derivatives, little bit of matrix and vector derivatives and so on can come in the test. So you people, if you people are ready, we will go ahead with the test. Or should we take one more class before the test?
Then can we have it on Monday, sir?
Yeah, fine. So let us have it on Monday. So next class, I will try to conclude on this probabilistic closeness or in similarity, dissimilarity, and then discuss very briefly on the other things of like derivatives and few other things, vector calculus. Thank you then. Anything else to discuss? Okay, thank you then.